Hey everybody, just wanted to talk to you today about a common situation that some of my students have, my coaching clients have, trying to learn how to play better pool. They're gotten to a pretty high level, with their respect to their cohorts, they found improvement, but they're feeling like they're struggling in situations where they feel like they should do better, but they break down mentally, something throws them off, and now they're just feeling like they underperformed. And the primary goal for me is just to give the way that I look at things now as a little bit of an older person, not so much of a chip on my shoulder anymore, where I'm trying to, target my opponent as the reason why I'm playing bad. I believe that I play poorly when I perform poorly, and it has nothing to do with the other player or the place that you're at. All that is a chosen thing. If you chose to be there in the first place and you're choosing to compete, you're choosing to participate in something, and thus you have no control over what your opponent does or the structure of the tournament at this point, or the competition, or the timing of it. Once you've agreed to do it, it is what it is, and at that point you have to let it go and just realize now it's all about being adaptable and being able to shift on the fly and just stay balanced so that you don't throw yourself off. So it really, there's only three things that I really think for myself I use as my foundation. It's acceptance is the first one, although this is really no particular order because it kind of depends on how you get thrown off, is which one of these you should implement immediately. Acceptance is the first one, forgiveness, and gratitude. So acceptance, obviously, the situation is what it is. You'd like to change things. So, as soon as you recognize that your emotions are off, you're not feeling good, or maybe you're a little bit unconfident, or you've got some negative mindset where you're thinking too much about what could go wrong, and you need to get back to that place where you're thinking about what can go right. Well, first thing you got to do is recognize that you're doing that thing. Being in denial of reality, is not going to get you to a good place. It's just going to continue to give you the same results that you had before. You need to see what's really going on inside yourself, outside yourself, and then use that actual correct information to make new choices and to try to bring about a new future and not recycle through the same thing. Forgiveness is the second thing. You got to forgive your opponent. They're trying hard too. They probably aren't trying to be whatever way they were that threw you off. They don't know necessarily that that's going to be that. And even if they're doing it intentionally, it's just a fear-based response. You're doing no good to anyone by letting that sink in and throw you off. If you forgive them for being the way they are, you can forgive yourself for being the way that you are by even reacting and needing to react and feeling like you have to react. What did you go there for? You're there to try to win. It doesn't matter who is in front of you, what obstacle it is. The obstacle is mostly you, and you know that. To me, it's like if I'm thinking my opponent is throwing me off, that just tells me that I'm already been thrown off. I'm already emotionally compromised, and that I need to check in with myself and see what am I doing that's causing myself to play poorly, and just realize, I'm human. I'm allowed to forgive myself. In fact, I go into the match ideally using all three of these concepts in a flow. You just like constantly being, we'll go into the third one first. Again here, gratitude, right? Be thankful that you even are allowed to show up and compete, and have a good time and try to improve yourself in this competition. We take things for granted so much that we shouldn't, because it's not to our benefit to take things for granted. It's actually the more grateful you are for the way that things actually are and the good things in your life, and the fact that we're allowed to come out here, try to have a good time, compete, and play this beautiful game. And it's fun to get out there and show other people how you play the game, and people will discuss, you know, things about pool, and it becomes amazing because you can share your knowledge with just about anybody, because somebody, if you've played the game for a while, you know some things, you can help people can help you, and we should be grateful for that community. And like I said, I just try to think acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, and if you can keep those things going, where you like, oh, that thing could throw me off, but it's not going to, because I saw it coming. I accepted the situation was that guy started getting angry, and I could see it coming, and now I'm over here. I'm emotionally not available to be involved with that, and then, even if I do a little bit, like, oh, you got to forgive yourself. That's an opportunity to see something happening that could have thrown you off in the past, and maybe now we're not doing that. Now we're going to succeed in this moment where I've been thrown off by that kind of person in the past, or I've struggled in a certain way in the past, and I recognize this is the cycle, this is how it begins, this is my opportunity to make a new choice here, to use a new mental framework to be more successful. And for that, we should be grateful. And that's the last part. Once you have that gratitude, you can just keep that going, where you just, you're happy to be there, and then that can become your new thing, And I don't think that we need to go much further than that. Like I said, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, very simple. It just helps you check in with yourself, and you'll learn techniques, over time that help you use these three things and add to that. But I think that keeping it short, keeping it simple, it's easy to remember. Easy things to remember are the things that you want to be able to rely on when things start going a little bit haywire. All right, well, thanks everybody. Have a great day.